Vo.Tino and welcome to our nail art tutorial. So this is going to be the lesson that we are learning today, and everything that I use is available at www.tinovo.shop. Now let's get ready for the lesson. So for this design, we are going to do two nails. One is this nail right here, with the whole nail as a cactus, and the tip is like a porcelain vase. I'm gonna add a rose right here too, so you know how to do this, and this. So that's the first nail, or this is the first nail. And then I am going to do this, so you know how to do a 3D heart cactus. Let me take out my nail. And first, I will apply this nude color in the background. That will be my top gel tan nude. I'm gonna lay it right here. And top gels, meaning top coat. So this gel, when you apply, you don't have to apply any top coat when you're done. It is no wipe. And it is very natural looking. It's not pasty. And when I do ombre, it's actually ombre very well. So I am gonna apply on both nails. Apply on this one. I'm gonna cure this. 60-second cure for all the gels I'm using. I'm gonna cure this too. Now, after you cure that for 60 seconds, we are going to do this nail first. So I am gonna use one of my new color. It's called Eucalyptus. And Eucalyptus is one of the gel in Petal and Pan collection that I launched. And you can buy the whole collection, or you can buy individual right now. And this gel, the reason why I'm using is because you see the darkness of the cactus. After I apply these gels, I am gonna use a pressed pigment to apply onto eucalyptus to get that darkness right here. So this one are done curing. Now I am gonna apply this gel out on a palette. If you use it to polish a nail, then you can just use a brush to polish on. But I'm not polishing a nail, I'm using it for art. So I'm putting it out on a palette. And yes, this gel can be used for art like color block, and it can be used as a liner gel also. I'll put that back here. Okay, so the brush that I am going to use will be an emboss brush. I am first going to make sure I thaw out the brush. See, it's right now it's in shape, but when you paint, you have to make sure all the hair is thawing out. So I'm doing this by taking my Carnivore Dipping Dab cup and put in my brush conditioning cleanser. Brush conditioning cleanser will remove gel just as fast as acetone, but it's oil based. So the oil and vitamin will help condition your brush while you paint, and the oil is completely safe with all gel product. I am gonna place the brush into this cup like this, not poking it like that. And I'm gonna twirl from side to side like this. There. So now when all my hair bristles are coming out like this, that's a great sign that the brush are ready to be used. So I am dipping into this gel, and again I'm twirling from side to side so all the gel can soak in well into the brush. So when you draw, it'll be really easy, and then you drag it out like this to make the brush slimmer, and you are going to paint. And get this nail out too. already done. They both done curing. All product a 60-second cure. Now I am going to paint like a French tip. Like this. And this. And then I'm also use the same emboss brush to paint it, because that's what it's used for. It's used for working with heavy gel or painting, because it have a bigger build, so it can take a lot of gel, and it's amazing for coloring like this. Okay, so now when you done coloring, what you going to do, and it's level very fast. What you're gonna do is you're gonna cure this for 60 seconds. Now after that, our next step will be pigment. So we take out our pressed pigment palette, and I am gonna use black first, and then I'm gonna chase it with this hunter green right here. And of course, this gel is compatible with pigment, so you can apply right on it after it's cured. I do need a paper towel right here. And I need a pigment brush. And I also need, I use like a short shaker. And what I use it for is that I need to knock off pigment dust. So I use something like this to knock off excess dust after I take the color, so it'd be nicer for me. And before you put pigment on, you have to be aware of what's going on in your background. You see what's going on here is, see, it's top gel nude, okay? And you have to understand that the reason why I use top gels, because pigment don't stick onto this. So when I dust pigment on, it's only stick onto the green part, and it will spare everything else in the background. So remember, if you use a nude gel polish, then when you apply pigment, it's going to stick on everything. So this is a way for me to do pigment isolation. I will take black pigment first, and I will smudge it on the paper towel. I will rock it from side to side, just for the color to be absorb well into the brush bristle. And then I'm gonna knock this up. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now all excess dust is knocked off. The color is still on the brush. I am going to go from the bottom and brush up just like this. Now, if you see how fast I brush, you have to be aware that it's because I'm doing it for a long time. When you first play with pigment, what you have to do is you have to go 1, and you're gonna see if there are any streak. If there's no streak, you're gonna go 2, 3, 4, and when that is perfect, you can pick up the speed just a little bit like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and if it's still perfect, then you speed up the speed a little more. 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you can increase it. 9, 10, 11, 12, and then you can go faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that is when you can do it like me, because your blending pattern needs to be correct. You need to start from the air. This is the surface of your nail. From the air, you glide down, you run, and you glide up like this. See, it's a blending pattern. And whenever I go teach, a lot of people do a smashing pattern instead. This is a smashing pattern. Like from the air, they go down, they run, and they stop. Again, they run, they stop, like this. So they smash it instead of blending it. So that's why a lot of people have struggle with the way they apply pigment, and they cannot blend well because of that. So remember, so few tips and tricks. And I am gonna pick up a green. You can mix it into this black if you want. And blend it in. And I love this primary pressed pigment palette a lot. I find myself using it a lot nowadays. It's very convenient. Okay, so when you are happy with your shading, you can move to the next step. So the next step, I want to do this little line right here. It's like a pale green, and you can use art gel for that. This right here. Or, you see, this is a neon green, and you can mix it with a white art gel. You can do that. Or if you want, you can even attempt to use one of the polished color like this. It is pistachio, also in the same collection of eucalyptus. As I mentioned, you can use this gel for polishing, but you can also use this gel for liner. And I'm not talking about intricate little line. I'm talking about simple line. So straight line is considered not the easiest. But since we have this gel, we're gonna use it to attempt to do straight line for you to see if it's capable of doing something like that. Just a second. So pistachio, let me just go ahead and switch the gels. I'm gonna put pistachio right here. All right, this pistachio. Put my pigment away for now. Now, I am gonna draw straight line. So again, your method will be using the emboss brush. If you want your line to be semi-thick, if you want a little thin line, then you can use the liner brush, which is 10 millimeters liners. I am going to play the brush right against the surface and twist from side to saturate my brush. And then I am going to pour it out, so it can be nice and thin and slim. Then I am going to go ahead and draw on here too. This is a very demure pastel green. So even for a gel polish, when it comes to line, that's not too bad at all. Look at that. And that is not a gel paint. It's a gel polish, but it's a very high pigmented gel polish. So it can do things that gel paint are built for. Maybe a teeny little line right here. Starting to run out of room. Okay, and And then after that, you can cure for 60 seconds. Isn't that amazing of what a gel polish can do? Liner at the same time. And of course, all of my gel polish can apply pigment too. Not as well as pigment base. This is the best gel to apply pigment right here. But the other gel is also compatible with pigments. Now, my next job, I am going to apply these little beads right here. And then I'm going to top coat it. So this is my caviar bead that I will be using. I use two sizes. This is bigger slightly. This is 8 millimeters, which I'm going to use because it's big, so it's pop out more. But on the size, I prefer to use a smaller so it doesn't ruin the shape of the nails. And with that, I will use a 6 millimeter, which is the tiniest. And when I do this, I am going to take out a paper towel. This is my paper towel right here. And I'm going to cut out 2 little squares. I'm going to take out my cosmetic scissors. I'm going to put one little square right here. And one little square right here. Now what I'm doing is I'm gonna pull the bead out here because I'm using a brush with gel so it can be sticky to pick up bead, and I'm gonna pick it up. So I rather have a paper towel, so if my gel sticking into the paper towel, it's okay because I can dispose it. Where before I dip the brush right into the jar, and what happened is if gel stick in here, it's gonna make your bead stick in, or you might have 2 or 3 brushes stick together, and that is not good. It can waste a lot of your time when you design. So that's what I did. Now I am taking this out, and I'm gonna apply bead. So how am I going to do that is I have a special gel for bead. This is clear texture gels, and it's a gel that I use to apply bead or design in like emboss design, like little seashell patterns. And what's special about this gel is that it doesn't move. So your bead doesn't move, or if you do emboss line, your line doesn't move. And it's wonderful. It is opposite from builder gels. And a lot of people, they don't know, and they use builder gels and the beads is move everywhere because builder gel is cell level. So when it comes to something that is cell level, it's have to level out where it's smooth out. And because of that ability, it couldn't help itself from moving. So I make something that are opposite with builder gels. Now I'm gonna put this right here. And the brush that I use, I can use a 10 millimeter to pick up my bead. Or I can use an emboss brush to pick up my bead. Whichever is fine. Sometimes I like to use a 10 millimeter. Sometimes I like to use the emboss brush. Just depends. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to apply on this line, not on the side, but right in the middle first. This line in the middle. And then also right here. You don't have to apply too thick, just enough to hold the bead on the surface. And then the 2 line on the side, I am gonna apply smaller bead, 0.6 millimeter, so it doesn't pop out too much and ruin the shape of the nail, because the shape are beautiful. Do not cure these. Now your brush, which have gel in it, what I am going to do is I'm going to take our paper towel and I'm going to wipe it. So it's not wipe up the gel completely, but it's not messy and cakey with gels. It's still sticky, especially right on the tip. You want it to be sticky on the tips. And you can pick up bead. It's just not a hot mess with all the thick gel around it, because then when you pick up a bead, it'll be difficult. You might pick up too much bead. And when you put it down on the surface, it also might be difficult because the bead might not want to let go because the brush have too much gel. So this amount is perfect. I already wiped off most of it. Now I am going to apply bead and put right onto the nails. If you want, you can also put one bead on the top, one bead on the bottom, one bead in the middle, and then you can start splitting it. Right here, I'm gonna put 2 beads right in the middle of these. And then 2 beads right in the middle of these. Ooh, I might have room for one more. There you go, 3 beads. You can do that. Or you can just go from top to the bottom. It's however you like. And you see how easy I release the bead. It's because of the way I prep my brush with my gels. It's make it really easy for me. That's number 1. Number 2 is the type of gel that I use. It ensures that the bead is stay on here and it stay on here well. And this is 0.8 millimeter, so it's pretty heavy because it's slightly bigger than the smallest bead. But you can see here it's hold the bead very well. Now I am gonna switch to the smaller side over here when I get to the side, just to ensure that my side is still attractive and it's not horrid. And if I use the beads that are too big, then it will pop out and it can be unattractive for a nail. Even if it's a texture nail like this, you want to preserve the side because the shape is all that's matter when you're designing. And on this side, if you don't want to go over here, because sometimes my finger actually touch the bead, so I can tell my client to turn the hand over so I can do it safely on this side. Okay. So now I am going to go ahead and cure for 60 seconds. And this gel is very good. If I turn it upside down, you see it doesn't run anywhere. If I shake it like that, you see it's hold the bead very well. Your client can move. You see, if you use a builder gel, this is a problem that people bump into the most, is this bead start to run. After like a few seconds, it starts to slide a little bit, and then you have to readjust it. And when you readjust it, it slips back to where it is. So it's very messy. But with this clear texture gel, it is a dream for a lot of beader. Cure this. Now after that, we will top coat it because these right here are on top of top coat and these are on top of the design. We're gonna use sticky to adhere them. So I am gonna put my bead back. Gonna put this bead back, just like this. And the top coat that I am going to use will be matte top coat. I love the velvet finish and it's turn matte very quickly. I'll take that out. And run lightly over the nails, over the entire nails. And then you cure. And look how fast it's turned matte. See, only a couple of seconds it's turned matte immediately. Because this matte is built to apply pigment, so it can be matte very fast and quickly. Okay, go ahead and finish curing that. And we are going to go to this porcelain texture right here. It's my favorite. I am using a clear Play-Doh. And I am mixing it into my favorite shape, which is this one, like a nude shade. Taking this out, scooping a little amount of Play-Doh. And the reason why I don't use my new Play-Doh, because my new Play-Doh is a little bit pinkish, and the shade is a little different. So I just have to custom color, and every time I custom color, I use either clear Play-Doh or white silicone. But I love to use clear Play-Doh the most. So this is already coming out. And I am gonna take this, and I am gonna put it right here and roll it in, just like that. When you have this, you can start to stretching it out and folding it like this to make it into colors. And remember, don't put too much pigment. It doesn't need a lot of pigment because it's clear. So everything you put in is see-through. See that? Now, because if you put a lot, it might not cure correctly. And you can tell if it's soft, then it's not curing correctly, because Play-Doh, unlike silicone, is cure hard. So after I have this beautiful nude bead right here, I am ready to apply on. So I am going to use the clear Play-Doh lid to put my bead on, because it doesn't stick to the bottle. So I'm gonna lay it right here. Now with clear Play-Doh, it's very soft. It's softer than most of the Play-Doh I have. So you don't have to put sticky. You can just apply it straight on. If you want to put sticky, you can. But this, I'm just taking a little bit out. And I will roll on the surface. It can be any surface. You can have a little plastic film to roll it on if you want. And I will need my Play-Doh knife. So I take out my Play-Doh knife. There's many knives in there. I'm gonna use this one. I like this one. So I am rolling it in. And when it gets to a desirable amount, the desirable thickness, I am going to go ahead and apply it right on here. Now, Play-Doh is non-stick, so it's not going to immediately stick on the surface at first. You can lay on gently and slightly press it just a little bit. And then you can cut it. After Play-Doh is rest on the surface for about 30 seconds, it will slowly emerge into the surface. And that is how you use a non-stick gels. Now, I am having some more business to do down here. You can see that it has pattern and everything. So I probably will be wiser to cure this so it will cure solidly, and then I can work on the pattern down here. So I am taking my finger. You can use a silicone tool if you want, And I'm slightly tapping it, just slightly, just to encourage it to stick onto the surface. And then cure. 60 seconds, you can do that, or you can even flash cure for just like 10 seconds if you want. While it's curing, I am going to roll out my next line. So that is how you work with tile a sticky surface. Now, if you want to use sticky, it's gonna immediately stick to the surface. This is how you do it. You apply sticky gel out, and you will want to use a brush. I will keep using my emboss brush. The emboss brush are popular today. I am taking a little bit sticky and just draw a little out, just like that. And you know there's gonna be some line down here, so might as well draw another line down here. And then you cure it. Now sticky, you cure for 60 seconds, so after it's dry, it will become very sticky. Roll that out. The tool that I will be using for all these patterns will be the engraving tool, one of my favorite to use with Play-Doh, and one of the silicone tool is also one of my favorite shape. It is round and sharp at the same time. I have 7 seconds left of curing. I'm gonna take this out, and I am gonna place this right on here. See, it stick immediately now. Then I can cut it. So with or without sticky, you can do either or. I find that sticky sometimes easier for people that couldn't maneuver Play-Doh well and make it stick to the surface. Then you can use sticky to help you. Now what I want to do is I want to take the round side of the silicone tool that I use. And it's called the silicone tool. On the website, when you search for it, it's a silicone tool. Then I am going to use that round side to press and smudge it out. Press, smudge it out. Press, smudge, just like that. Very easy. I'm sure if you work with pottery and clay, it'll be the same thing. You use all these tools for it. These one, I'm gonna poke a little hole into the clay doughs. Oh, I love to do this. I never get to play with pottery a lot, so when I have a chance to do this, I absolutely love it. Flash cure that, please. You don't have to. You can keep on working, but flash cure will be safer. Let me go ahead and clean this. I'm using acetone to clean the little stain right here on the table, but you see, I have to be careful. I don't want to get acetone on my glove, because if I do, then Play-Doh at this time it will stick onto my glove. Because what acetone do is that it melt gels, so it will melt the surface of Play-Doh. Then Play-Doh will get a little more liquidy, and that will make it stick to your hand. So that's ability of acetone, that reaction that acetone have. It can serve you a good benefit or not. It just depends. If you want it to stick on the surface, you still can use a little bit of acetone on the surface. Then the Play-Doh will stick immediately to the nail surface with acetone. So it should depend, but you don't want it to be on your hand, because it would be bad if it sticks to your hand. Okay, I'm rolling that line out too. If you want it thinner, then you keep rolling it until it gets really thin, and then you put it in, just like this. It's already have a little bit of sticky gel on top of it, so it sticks very easy. And when it does, you go ahead and cut it out with your Play-Doh knife. Of course, you can use these to cut it out. These are a little blunt for mixing. It's a spatula. You can cut that out. You can use it to cut it out just like this, like that. But I like to use a knife because it's fine-tuned and it's sharp. After that, you can go ahead and cure, or you can keep working. There is some more detail down here. Again, let's use some sticky because I love to use sticky gel to help me stick Play-Doh on. So this line is different. It's a flat line. Of course, you don't have to paint sticky big at the line. You can just paint a little bit of sticky for it to stick on. Here it is. Now I'm gonna make another lines. And let's go ahead and draw it out. Just like this. We're gonna put that onto the surface of sticky. See this? You can just apply it right here and it just doesn't stick. It's wonderful. The lid is wonderful for it. If it on like a table surface, it wouldn't stick neither. But if you leave it for like 15-20 minutes, you wouldn't be leaving it that long. But if you do, it will slowly try to melt to the surface because that's how it sticks onto the nails. Just want to warn you so you know what to expect. Put this on. And we're going to go ahead and either cut it out and press it, or press it first and cut it out. But we need to press it so it's flat. That is optional. You don't have to do that. But it's just another tip and trick so you can learn how to do that. I'm using the flat head of the silicone to press it. Don't just go ahead and squeeze it out. Don't do that. You just tap lightly. You work on it slowly. That's how you work with 3D element like this. Just slowly so it can spread out evenly and it'll be nice. If you push too hard, then it'll be very uneven and it might stick to the tool. And then it might lip to the surface. It wouldn't do that with sticky underneath here, but without sticky, it might do that. So you need to tap it nice and light. Now, after you're satisfied with it, you can take the knife. This is a time when I feel like I really need the knife because it's precise. And there it is. Cure this. And then you can apply a little more sticky for these detail right here. One line. And then you can just stroke it down if you want. Cure this. And these knives are like X-Acto knife. It is X-Acto knife. I call it Play-Doh knife because I use it for Play-Doh. But it's X-Acto knife. It's just that I sell it way cheaper than the X-Acto knife that you buy at the store. Because when you buy a whole kit, it's have 3 different knives. This one, the green one, the red one, and the yellow one, and a bunch of head. And I believe that only like $12.99, so it's super cheap, super affordable for you. And let's roll out a really thin line. I want it to be very thin. Now, we're gonna go ahead and apply it on. Yeah, very, very thin. Thinness. Let's go ahead and cut this one out. We don't need that much. Again, if your nail table are dirty, then instead of doing it on the nail table, you can do it in like a piece of paper or plastic sheet. You can do that too. You can use that as a surface. Go ahead and cut it out. There you go. If your line is not straight, you can use a round side of your silicone tool. You to nudge it a little bit, but be gentle. You don't want to distort the roundness of the lines there. And then you can cure a little bit. like flash cure it a little bit if you want, so it can be secure. And then I am going to do this part. It's also very fun. I don't need that much gel, so I'm gonna need a little bit. Okay. And I'm gonna roll it out, not a line, but a shape like this, a long shape. And I'm gonna put it out here. And then you're gonna use this to press it out. Start from the top first. And then now you don't drag it down like this. You press it and then drag it out at the same time. First nudge it on so it can stick onto this part, and then you press it downward like this. So pressing and dragging at the same time, basically. See that? So not just dragging, not just pressing, but press and drag. See, it's dragging. It's just on the surface. This pressing, so you press it out flatter. So what I want you to do is press and drag, like that. And when it's ideal, it's time to use our Play-Doh knife. And if you want, you can use a different head, like this. You can use this head, hook it from the side and going down. But you see, I don't do this and just drag it out like that. I do this and I'm gonna press it down and out. Press it down and out. If you drag it, it wouldn't be pretty. And when you try that, you know. So at that point, you can pay attention to the pattern and the detail that I'm doing here, so you can have more success with your 3D. And then now I'm gonna take the sharp side of my silicone tool and I can cut it. But it's not cutting, it's like engraving. See a little engraving, little streak. You can also see that in pottery too. This is exactly how they do pottery, by the way. And when you are happy, you can go ahead and cure and you're done with this design. You have the rose left or the pink flowers. So again, I definitely going to use sticky for this. So I apply a load of sticky gels right on where I want the rose to be, the little cactus flowers. I want it to be right here. Just like that. And go ahead and cure that for 60 seconds. And this is when I take out my hot pink Play-Dohs. And hot pink Play-Doh are completely non-stick. Let me show you. See that? It's non-stick. It's amazing. It's very convenient. When you want it to not to stick to your design, you're gonna press it like a dough, so it can adhere well to each other's. So it can be solid. So you just press it. I don't know what they call it when they're doing the dough, kneading or prepping the dough, just like that. Just like that. And you only need just a little bit. Gonna press this right onto the surface. Pat it out. You can just pressing it in, just like that. Now, go ahead and knead your rose with a sharp point of my silicone tool. Just like that. Then again. And if you want, you can also use this engraving tool, one of my favorite also. If the other tool is a little challenging, then you can use this. You can give it a little more detail. And it's actually one of my favorite tools to use when it comes to Play-Dohs. It's like a needle, but it's not sharp. It's blunt, like a blunt needle, and it's amazing. The body are very good to help with, very comfortable. And I will put my hot pink Play-Doh right here for you to see. This. Okay, when you have a nice little flower, little cactus flower, you can go ahead and cure this and you're done. Now, if you want to secure it even further, then you can take a little bit matted or a little bit of shined top coat. Just depend on if your foundation are matte or shine. And you apply it out on a palette. Since this is matte, I'm gonna use matte. And I am gonna use like a liner brush, or you can use a coloring brush if you like. Coloring brush soak up top coat faster and it help hold more top coat than a liner brush. And what you do is you can apply it right on the sides of all the Play-Doh, and that will further secure it. This is completely optional though. Cure that. If you have clients that like to pick, you know, you can even secure this. You don't have to because it sticks very well. But if they like to pick at 3D, if they want 3D, but they like to pick at it, you can do that. You can go around the edge like that. And that will help holding it more. You can also paint top coat onto Play-Doh if you want. But you see for this, there's no need to top coat to make it matte. If you want it shine, then you need to put shine top coat on. But if it's matte, you just take acetone and you wipe on top the surface and it turns matte. I'll show you. I take some paper towel and I apply acetone out here. And I go onto the surface and I just tap it. And that will remove the shine away from it. Just like that. Now, a lot of people, sometimes if they don't like to mess with paper towel, because sometimes it can leave lines behind, then you can use matted to do the same jobs. And matted will help it make it a little more matte. I love the velvet finish of matted. It's very appealing. So these are a couple ways that you can do it. Now, the bead on the cactus are matte. You can leave it matte, or you can shine the bead to give it a little more attention. This is my shined top coat, which is a non-scratch top coat. I'm washing my coloring brush and then dip into shined it. Now this, you have to have coloring brush for this step. It's gonna make it way easy. You see the matte bead? You can just touch it and it will give the shine onto the bead. This is something that a liner brush have been very difficult time to do because a liner brush is meant for line and it's built for thick gel paint. So when it comes to top coat and doing this on the bead, the liner brush is very difficult. So that's why I choose the coloring brush. It's time for us to learn about the heart. Everything is similar, everything the same. It's just you create it slightly different with Play-Doh. I can use the same clear Play-Doh or I can use a green Play-Doh. That's up to me. take a little bit of these out. And you can go ahead and rub just a little bit of green in, not too much though, just slightly bit, because you're gonna go ahead and paint it anyway. Just rub green in so the process can be easier for you, because sometimes when you paint on clear, it can be tricky. So you can just go ahead and mix just a little bit, so it's like a see-through green Play-Doh. So you have a little bit of acetone on this finger, so it's try to stick on this finger. That is a very good example. Try to avoid it. I'm gonna put it on here. These now, I'm gonna go ahead and put on some sticky gels. Again, these are my sticky gels. I am going to put sticky right in the middle and cure that. Then I'm gonna put that on and make a heart out of it. I can return this pink Play-Doh to its little spot right there. And out of all the Play-Doh, I love clear Play-Doh the most, and white Play-Dohs. And in fact, a person only need white and clear, really, and black. And really, you only need clear, because you can mix it with powder like I just showed you. But I have other color, because sometimes people love to have different colors. I can go ahead and apply this green Play-Doh right on here. Isn't that pretty? And I can take this tool and start molding it, creating a split right in the middle here, and pressing this out. You can press with your finger if it's faster for you, just like this. And in fact, I like to mold the entire thing with my finger because it's a really easy shape to do it with. There. And then readjust this on here. And now, when it comes for the finesse, then you can use a tool. Make sure the sides are nice. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and slow down and pay attention to the shape at this point. And on the side, just to make sure it doesn't have like a wall or an edge. It can be nice and round like a cactus. Artists paying extra attention to the detail, of course, is optional. You can be a little more rushy if you want, but I'm a perfectionist. Okay, now when you're done, when you work with shape like this, you want it to be nice and smooth, right? So all this tapping right here, it might not be perfect. Clear Play-Doh is non-cell level, unlike silicone, where it's completely cell level. This is my silicone, completely cell level, where this one is non-cell level. So if you want smooth, you might need help with a solvent like this, not a solvent, sorry, with a solution like this. The brush conditioner cleanser that I use to clean my brush, I can absolutely use that to smoothen it out, because remember that it is safe with all gels. So I can take a brush like an oval brush, I dip it in, and I can smooth it out. Back in the day, I used alcohol, and alcohol evaporates very quickly, so I have to re-dip alcohol over and over again, and sometimes it's melting gel and it get into my brush, and the melted gel in my brush, it get hardened very fast because alcohol evaporate fast, where this solution, it don't evaporate because it's oil based. So you can use just a little bit of it to make it as smooth as possible. And I absolutely love the use conditioning cleanser for Cactus. It makes it so smooth. Of course, you cannot use a regular oil because you do know that oil and gel don't go together. Oil is very bad with gel. It's separate from gels. But these solutions are very special. It can be completely mixed into gels. So now after it's nice and smooth, you can go ahead and cure this. After that, I will paint this color on. It's called Eucalyptus. A new color. I have some right out here on the palette. And the brush that I will use, either coloring brush or emboss brush, they build the same, but one of them are longer than the others. For coloring brush, I like to use with like gel paint or really thick gels because it's very strong. It can press them gel flat. For gel polish, I can use emboss brush. I find myself really like to use emboss brush for thin gel like gel polish. It's already come out, and be aware if you touch it, it's gonna be a little sticky. And the reason is the conditioning cleanser, when it's melting the gel surface on top to make it smooth, it leaves behind an inhibition layer. And in this inhibition layer are a layer of gel that is exposed to oxygen, and when it's exposed to oxygen, it remains sticky. Don't be afraid, you can apply gel directly on it. Let's paint eucalyptus right on here. Remember, this is a gel for polish, but it also can be used for liners. So it's perfect for artwork like this. You can go ahead and cure this now. And wipe the gel off. Clean. It's remove gel very fast. Wipe the cleanser off, and that's it. It will keep your brush in shape overnight. And when you use it again, it will be nice and healthy, and the shape will remain. Unlike if you use a solvent to clean, then it's gonna be dry and brittle overnight, and it's gonna be very unhealthy for a brush. So remember that. And we're gonna apply pigment on it, since this gel are compatible with pigments. Now, you do know that the top gel I put on can isolate pigment, but remember I use a brush conditioning cleanser to smooth out the Play-Doh. If I accidentally apply a little bit of oil on the surface, then pigment will stick on it. If it happens, don't panic. You can wipe it off, since it's a 3D design. It's very easily cleaning around it. So you can start with black. You have to remember a paper towels and something like this, or you can knock up dust against the table edge if you want. But having something like this are more convenient. And you can even cover your hand so dust doesn't fly up to your client. And start brushing. Since it doesn't stick on here, I think I do well with the brush conditioning cleanser when I smooth it out. Start out a little bit with black. You can go all around the edge if you want. I actually prefer that look. Then you can chase it in with a darker green. And then, of course, I'm going to choose pistachio. Again, remember pistachio? It is also a gel polish that can do liner at the same time. Just simple line. It's already look pretty. My reaction when I do this hot for the first time, I fell in love with it instantly. I was so excited when I first draw that out. When I have a look of this before I even finish, I get so excited. To me, it's so pretty. Cure this. Then remember, you're gonna have to apply bead. And you need a very special gel to apply bead. Just like this. I prefer to get a little bit out and put it on the palette. And close the lid, just in case you don't want sunlight or a strong light to cure this gel. It's very sensitive to light. And I'm gonna take this and apply gel right on here. See, with a regular gel, you have to apply one line at a time. Hopefully, it will stay still for you. But this gel, I just go from left to right, fill up all the line, apply bead all at once, and then cure because it's very easy to keep bead on. Remember, wipe your brush so you don't have a lot of gel on. And you will take out this. You can even use, actually, let's use a tinier bead for the heart. I throw away my paper towel, so I have to cut out more. This is my cosmetic scissor. Isn't that pretty? Sometimes I work with art and craft, so I need a tiny little scissor like this. It's not special. You can find this kind of scissor everywhere. But I have it just in case because I use it too. Now I am taking this brush out and apply bead right on the surface. Back in the day, I used to be very afraid of bead just because it's very difficult to apply and it drip everywhere. But now, since I have a gel that built for that and tool that built for that, I love bead. Because bead can make a design very expensive looking if you know what to apply. If you don't know what to apply, then a lot of people will be afraid of using it. But know how to use it can earn you a lot of money in salon. Just like this. See how fast it is? It's released very well onto the surface. See, this can be very fast. See that? Who say that beads are slow? It's slow because people doesn't have the right material for it. But with the right material, you can achieve great art very, very fast and make a tons of money. But a lot of people, if they don't have the right material, then it's still just a dream to make more money. They have to stick to what they know. But isn't it great to live a life doing art without fear? Now you can cure. Then you're gonna top coat this. Since it's a hard, I either gonna use a big brush like an emboss brush to top coat. I can also use this brush in the bottle right here with a combination of my emboss brush. I'll show you. All right, now I'm taking it out and I'm gonna use matted. Apply matted right on the heart. And then I will use some of the matted that I put out on the palette, dip it into my emboss brush, and go around the edge. See, this part I couldn't use the brush that I use in the middle because that brush is too big. With this emboss brush, it can help me go around. If you want, you can also do a little flower right here in the corner, or you can put a little pink diamond right in the corner. That will also be complementary. Cure this. And if you can, I would love to top coat it right after I do the 3D. So I can go all around it like this, and that will help secure the design too. But most often, like this design, I cannot just put top coat around it. It'll be harder. So I have to put top coat first and then do a 3D. But with this, I can easily top coat right after because the shape are very simple. It's just a heart shape. You can maneuver around it very easily. The shaded that I choose. You can also choose matte if you like. And I'm gonna put this back. If you have a couple of beads that keep sticking onto the paper towel, you can also use a magnet. Since my beads are very high quality, it's made out of metal, so you can use a magnet to pick it up. All right, you guys, this is a lesson today. I hope you enjoyed this. And don't forget to subscribe us in YouTube at Tino Vo. And everything that I use is available at www.tinovo.shop. Have a good day, everyone. And until next time, bye-bye.